What's up, guys? In today's video we'll be teaching you guys how to start up the Boeing 737. So first, what we want to do is connect the GPU, the ground power unit. So wait until that light illuminates, and then you have the GPU on. Then we're going to line our IRS, inertial reference system, that tells your aircraft where you are. So next, after that, you can see how long until your inertial reference system aligns. And so, once you're done, you go to your flight managed computer, or for short, FMC. Then you go to where it says FMC, flight management computer. You click on that. So you go to position in it. And then you go to what airport you at in the ref. So right now I'm at Atlanta, so I'll put Kilo Alpha Tango Lima. Then I'll put what gate I'm at. I'm at gate Charlie 17. So, since we're at Charlie 17, we can enter that in. So, I skipped putting in the waypoints because it would take way too long and I want this video to be kind of short. But, you just hit on route on this part, and then since you already put Atlanta, it's saved to that. So, then you're going to put Memphis. That's the airport I wanted to go to. So, you hit that. And then you put what runway you take. So I put 26 right as the runway I'm taking. And I put my call sign in before that so so people can realize that I'm Delta 1958. That's the call sign I always use. But if you guys want to use a different call sign, you can. I like to use my own call sign. So you don't go to activate yet. So you enter all your waypoints. And then you go to your pushback, and I like to pre-plan it before I start anything, so I pre-plan it to here. But before you guys see the pushback part, for some reason it got glitched, and it started pushing me back to random directions. Like I could literally use my rudder pedals to control it. It was weird, but don't worry. That's only for the certain part of this video, but I fixed it. So you hit 26 right, and I already entered all the waypoints off camera, because it took me a little bit to enter all of them. So now, since you have all the waypoints in, you could check how all the waypoints are checked. And if you notice that you can see the initial horizon, stuff like that, in the waypoints, that means that your IRS has fully aligned. So now, let's go to our perf stuff. So, I always start by ZFW, stands for zero fuel weight. But so if you look at your fuel, you'll see it will say either pounds or kilograms. LB for pounds, kg for kilograms. So, I'll put on the screen how much my zero fuel weight was, and I'll put on the screen my cost index. So, for right now, we're just entering all the information. So my cost index was 14. You can get that from SimBrief, a free website. So I'm excited to show you guys that because it's so cool to use. So then you go to your fuel and you enter how much fuel you're going to need for this flight. So I put 15,200 pounds. Correct me if I said that wrong. So I put 15.2 as my reserves. So my N1 limit, you go to that. I never really mess with my N1 limit. And then you go to your cruise wind. So your cruise wind will be on SimBrief, a very awesome website for if you want to do anything with entering all your information, because it's very helpful. So I looked on the SimBrief, what is my information, and it gave me directly to that information. Now, let's go to N1. Let's go to N1 limit, where you click on that. Then you go to flaps. I always use flaps 5 for departure. Then you have to enter your center of gravity. So yesterday I divided. I realized that was way too little as a trim. So I divided 15,400 divided by how much fuel I'm putting in, and I got that much fuel. So that's going to be your center of gravity. That's how I got it. Now you guys might that's how I got it. It could have been wrong. So if there's anybody that could help me, please do, because I'm not the best at that. Now, so since we have that set up, we're about to go push back. But first, we need to start up the APU. Once the APU is on, well, starting, you enter your APU bleed stuff. So you would go your APU bleed on and your packs to auto. So as you can see, my plane is refueling. It doesn't really take that long. So you can see like the truck. You can see my APU starting. So as you guys can see, we're about to start our pushback after we get all refueled and the APU is on. So you're gonna wait until that light illuminates. It will be blue, like a light blue. So once that's done, you click on it, and that means that your APU now instead of your battery, it'll come to your APU, and your APU is used to start up your engine, stuff like that. So once you have all your engines on, you can turn off your APU and the power will come from your engines. So we're gonna start a pushback. So we go to pushback and we go to request pushback. So right now, what I like to do is I put where the pushback tug is coming from, and I like to make sure the waypoints, like I like looking at the waypoints because it's pretty helpful. Usually what I do in the FMC, the flight management computer, I'll see if I'm missing anything, such as discontinuity. Make sure everything's set, because I like to have everything set. So once you take off, you hear these three voices. You hear V1, VR, which will be rotate, and V2. So once you get your V2 speeds, you add 5 to that. So if I remember correctly, mine was 148. So if I remember correctly, yeah. So I put 152. So as my speed, my indicated airspeed. So the trim said 7.2 if I remember correctly. So I entered that in with my trim, and then you can see that my tug is connecting. So I'm gonna go disconnect the GPU, the ground power unit, because we don't need it anymore, because now we're getting powered by the APU, auxiliary power unit. So what you do, once you're done with that, you go to your EFB. You click on GPU. You disconnect that. So he told us to disconnect our parking brake. So when I'm done, I like to illuminate the frequencies so I can see them a lot better, because usually when it's very when the sun is very bright, it's hard for me to see stuff like that. So that's stuff I really like to do. So I'm starting up engine number 2, which I always start with. So the N2 is rising. Usually what you do by now is you would start up, since you already have your engine starting up, you'd wait until all your engines are up, and then you put down your flaps to 5. That's what I put in the flight management computer. So your flight management computer is going to know all that information. If you guys want an FMC tutorial, please comment down below if you want that. If you don't, it's alright. So right now I realized that my pushback tug was going very fast. So literally I stepped on the brakes with my rudder pedals, and I literally thought I was going to hit the aircraft. So I was like, oh crap. I don't even know what happened. So I kind of just disconnected him right when he did random, it was probably me with my rudder pedals. So I hit those lights to see if that so nothing really happened. So I'm starting up engine number 1 to get ready. So I stepped on my rudder pedals, which will count as your toe brakes. And then what I did was I asked for the pushback guide to disconnect because it's braking. So it was very weird. But thank goodness we can have all our stuff. So right now I'm turning on my flight directors. The flight directors will tell your aircraft what to do. So I hit terminate, and for some reason I was still going. So I hit disconnect. And then I got him to stop with my parking brakes. So thank goodness he stopped. I mean, it took him a little bit, but then he stopped. And then he just disconnected like a normal pushback tug. So you can see that my plane's kind of having like, did you see that little bump? So that's normal. So you want it to be like that. So now what you do is start up your engine. So I'm starting up engine 1 right now. So once you start up engine number 1, your N2 will rise even more. So that's me checking all my waypoints. And then I hit disconnect and hand signals. So that's going to tell the pushback tug that I don't want him, I want him to disconnect and I want to know when to taxi. So once he says you're ready to taxi, that's very useful because you need to know what to do. So you can see that my waypoint's already set, and I made sure I go to 26 right. So he's disconnecting, and I clicked on, so I'm starting up engine number 1. I clicked on the fuel selector, and I turned it completely up. So that means that your engine is starting. You're giving your engine number 1 fuel. So you can see that the reversals come out because that's putting a little bit of. For some reason, I have like this glitch where I have to put like full throttles on the engines for it to work. So as you can see, you could notice like a little bit of difference. That's why I was flying on VATSIM yesterday and I almost hit a guy because my plane was going super fast. That's why you see me going like I had like a Tokyo drift right now. So thank goodness I got it to work. So I usually like to make sure everything's set. So I turn on my lights, which you probably should do it before you know. So I turn off the APU and the bus transfer. I forgot to select all the bus transfers for the engines. So that turned off the instruments, but thank goodness you can get it back up if you started up all your engines properly. So I started up all the engines properly, and we're taxiing onto the runway. So I'm going to be putting you guys some tips I would recommend you guys doing in the description. So if you guys need help downloading this plane, I will send the link to this plane in the description. And plus, on their channel, they have this little link that you can click on. And if you want to download it for Windows, you click on it for Windows. If you want to download it on Mac, you click on it on Mac. I'm pretty sure there's other platforms like Linux. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure you can on that. I'm not for sure, so hopefully you guys like this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and thank you guys so much for 40 subscribers. That means a lot to me.